One of the most fun things for me in math is proportions. So here we're going to talk about a couple of applications. Now with these applications, we're going to set them up and then solve them. If you need help with setting up your proportions, I recommend you see my other video called How to Set Up Proportions. So here we go. I can read 30 pages in 22 minutes. If there are 285 pages left in the book, how long will it take me to finish? Let's assume I keep the same rate of reading. Now that's important to say the same rate because I don't know about you all, but when I get into a book and it gets good, it's like I read quicker. But anyway, when we are setting up a proportion to try to figure things out, the big thing is consistency. Okay, we want to make sure that we are setting things up with our units in the same positions. So our units here are pages and minutes. Now, I am a big vertical person here, so I always say, okay, I see pages and I see minutes. So when I'm setting up this proportion, I want everything in the numerators to be pages and everything in the denominators to be minutes. And then we think about our groupings. So we know that the grouping is I can read 30 pages in 22 minutes. That means 30 pages goes with 22 minutes. So 30 pages, 22 minutes. Great. I look at the other piece of information that I have. I have 285 pages left. 285. How long will it take me? So we're trying to find the number of minutes. Now, this is just one way we can set this up, right? We know, hopefully, there are numerous ways to set up a proportion correctly. This is just one of them. Now it is time to solve this. So let's do that. When we solve a proportion, we are going to cross multiply. So the numerator of one ratio multiplies by the denominator of the other. So I have 30 times x equals 22 times 285. Now 22 times 285 gives me 6,270, and that is the same as 30 times x. So I divide both sides by 30 to get x by itself, and we get roughly 209 minutes. Now, if we want to change that to hours, right, we know there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So if I have 3 hours, that takes up 180 minutes, and I have 29 minutes left over. So the answer is either 209 minutes or 3 hours and 29 minutes. Let's do one more. A team wants to estimate the number of fish in a lake. They catch and tag 150 fish and throw them back into the lake. A month later, they catch 70 fish and 12 are tagged. Use this data to estimate the total number of fish in the lake. Whew. Well, this one seems a little bit more tricky. Or I guess that would be trickier. I don't know. English is hard. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Well, we're talking about tagged fish and I guess total, right? So we'll talk about tagged fish to total fish. Okay, I like that. That means tagged is in the numerator and all the totals will be in the bottom. So if we look at the first thing they tell us, they catch and tag 150 fish and throw them back. So that means 150 are tagged out of how many? Well, I don't know. But then later, they catch 70 fish and 12 are tagged. So that means out of 70 total fish, 12 are tagged. Remember, it's about finding the groupings, right? What groupings are we playing with here? So now we're ready to solve after we've set this up. So tagged to total. Hit the wrong button there. All right, so let's do this. We cross multiply. Numerator of one to denominator of the other. So 12 times x equals 150 times 70. And 150 times 70 gives me 10,500 equals 12x. Divide both sides by 12 to get the variable by itself. And we get that there are 875 fish in the lake. Now, this is an estimate, right? We don't know that for sure. We did not count all of them. But based off of this work, That's what makes sense to us. So that's a little bit of playing with applications of proportions.